Okay, so we're
Welcome
live.
in. We are live. I am with the legend, Harold Welters. We're going to talk a little bit about the South Central Couts game that will be on regional sports tonight. Okay? Because legally, we cannot broadcast it for tonight. But we got a legend here. We're going to talk about the matchups. We're going to talk about the different things we can see for this game tonight because it was a absolute thriller on Riggins Corner last time with NIL providers. But um, anyway, so Harold, what kind of games are you kind of looking forward to for tonight?
I'll tell you what, this matchup with Couts and South Central for the PCC Championship is like a lot of classic matchups in the PCC. And Josh, and I know that anytime you get a championship on the line in any sport in the Porter County Conference, it's going to be exciting. And I think it's going to be exciting. You know, the last time these two teams met, South Central won it 3 games to 2, and they were down 0-2, and then won three sets straight sets to beat Couts. And I think you could have another 5 set game today. The game on a neutral court, when you had first asked me, who do you think's going to win? And I said, I think the home team will win. And then I realized, wait a minute, it's on a neutral court at Washington Township. So there goes the home court advantage for either one of these teams. So what are you going to get? You're going to get, I think, an outstanding game. I think you're going to get two teams that want this so bad that they are going to give it 110%, as the old saying goes. And I think you're going to have another 5 set game. What do you think?
I think you're going to have another 5 set game. I think it's going to be neck and neck. It's going to be an absolute barn burner. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be one of the most exciting games, classic ones that you're going to see because both teams, you got the Schmack twins, you got the seniors from Couts who are just outstanding. You got all this kind of matchup kind of going, and it just is what it is. And it's just one of those matchups that you look at and you just see as, oh, that could be a great game. And that's going to be whatever. Kind of like the Pioneer game coming up as well. That is going to be on Regan's Corner. A little plug there. So, uh, and kind of looking at everything, I'm looking at this matchup as something that is going to be, like you said, an absolute classic. And Tatum Wade, I think, is going to be one of the biggest stars in this game.
There are so often in games like this, there are those people that really step up that maybe we don't think of. Uh, there are certain members of every team that gets a little more press, so to speak, than others because they get more kills, they get more digs, they get more assists, whatever. But then every once in a while, uh, really more often than not, you have that other person that steps up and does something that maybe you don't quite expect. I saw a volleyball game 2 weeks ago where one of the girls that you just never got a lot of kills suddenly found herself, and every time she got set up, it seemed like she was jumping a little higher, hitting a little harder, and became the star of that game. And I think you could have that. Both Couts and South Central have some veteran players that we all know about that we talk about a lot. And I think one or of the other players is going to step up. Whichever team ends up winning, I think we're going to be talking about somebody that we normally don't talk about who stepped up. And part of that comes from the fact that you've got some veterans on both of these teams, and that realize the seniors that realize that, hey, this is our last go around, and we're going to put out that extra effort. And it may not even be a conscious decision. It may be somewhat subconscious, but it's that tradition. It's that, hey, last time around for we seniors, it's the PCC. When we come back to our 20th class reunion, we're going to be talking about this game, and we want to be talking about a win at our 20th anniversary celebration. So I would look for someone that we don't expect to step up for the winning team, but I also would expect that we're going to get from the players that we expect to get from, we're going to see some outstanding volleyball.
Absolutely. Because I just think it's going to be an absolute barn burner of a game. So, who do you pick? I know this is going to be a biased pick, but who do you pick in the first game here that we had slated for the pick'em for Knox and Caston?
Uh, Knox has been kind of a funny team in that they have lost some games they probably shouldn't have, but they've won a couple that they probably shouldn't have. So they're very unpredictable. And they don't have that person that has stepped up and consistently been, the killer. They have different people step up at different times. They're talent-wise, they are a very even team. You don't have that 6'2" girl that's going to, crush it. But you do have some girls that, when they are on their game, won't beat themselves. As a matter of fact, several of the games they've lost, they have beaten themselves. And being on the road at Caston, that's a long drive for the Redskins. So I would suspect they're going to have their hands full. Now, what Knox is also finding is that they've got a couple of their, maybe more than a couple, several of their younger players, JV players, if you will, who they've been kind of putting into the mix a little bit, that may have to come through if they're going to be victorious at Caston. Caston is a team that they've got some real athletes there, and they don't like to lose at home, and so it's going to be tough for the Redskins. But if they don't beat themselves, they can be right where they need to be in that Hoosier North Athletic Conference matchup.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So, kind of getting back to the South Central game and stuff like that, closing kind of segments. So, who are your X factors here in this game? Kind of going through both teams here, because you said you better unexpect the person that can step up, maybe like a Sam Marks, a freshman that kind of steps up in this big moment, kind of like she did in the semifinals, or Sadie Marks, or something, one of those Marks sisters that you wouldn't even expect because it's not basketball season yet. But
You point out you point out something there, though. Um, one of the things that gives both of these teams a lot of reason for their success is you have multi-sport athletes on both teams. And, you mentioned uh, people like the Marks girls. They were part of the very successful basketball team last year, the state final softball team last year, the sectional championship volleyball team. I mean, they're multi-sport athletes. They may not be stars in any one sport, but man, they can play them all. And and I know, and I think you and I maybe have had this conversation, Josh, is that
Mhm.
multi-sport athletes um, have an advantage. Um, and I know there's a lot of people, a lot of athletes, and maybe maybe more their families than them, but you know I'm going to concentrate on that one sport. I'm going to be the best I can be at basketball or at volleyball, or and I'm going to be a one sport athlete. And I think that they are at a disadvantage because by playing multi sports, first of all, they are in better physical condition because they're using different muscles with different sports. But more importantly, they are in a mentally challenging situation constantly. Maybe this sport isn't their number one sport, but it makes them think outside the box because it isn't their number one sport. If their number one sport is basketball, it's more likely basketball is more likely to come naturally to them. So they got to think about what they're doing a little more if volleyball is their second sport or their third sport. And I think that helps in every sport they're in. So the fact that both Couts and South Central have multi sport athletes, I think both of them are going to benefit from that. Now, I guess in the end, because I know more about South Central and I know about how those girls can perform in various sports, I'm probably going to pick them to win in 5 sets.
I am going to pick him again. I had a whole horse set thing going out before the news broke to me, but um, I'm going to pick South Central because if I pick Couts, it's going to look like I'm a little biased with the news. So I'm going to go 3-2 um, with South Central.
I will say this: if it goes 5 sets, if if Couts wins the first two like they did the last time, they'll win it. They won't allow what happened to them last time to happen again. So South
Right.
Central's got to win. Yeah, they've got to win one of those first 2 sets, I think, if they're going to win the thing.
Absolutely. I would say so too. But like I said, I before when we talked before off camera, I was back and forth uh, as an announcer and stuff like that on the game to begin with because one hand you have that kind of in the back of your mind if you're Couts and stuff like that, but at the same time you have we're not going to let this happen again kind of
Yeah.
mentality. So and both teams are very even. It's a toss up to begin with, but like you said,
It's
I
going to
think
be
it's going to be
fun.
South Central. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be South Central in 5. So remember, the game will be on regional sports for you guys at home, uh, and we'll see you at Pioneer. So, which will be a bigger game. So, see you guys later.
See you, Josh.
Yeah.